Since everybody is hating on Sydney Sweeney, I just wanted to say that last year, me and my friends, we went to go watch her movie Immaculate at the movie theater. And we thought it was going to be a supernatural movie, like ghosts or demons or whatever. Turns out, the whole time, it was just weird cult people that injected her with Jesus's DNA, like his actual DNA from his bones. They injected her with that and made her pregnant, and they wanted her to give birth to the next baby Jesus. And when it was born, it was literally an abomination. And basically, we walked outside that movie theater and we were like, that movie was fun.
I cannot be the only one generally confused by Sydney Sweeney, because I will be in the theaters watching The Housemaid. I read these books in book club. I love Amanda Seyfried. I'd say the same thing for Sydney Sweeney, unfortunately, for obvious reasons. Then she pulls up and looks like this, and I'm just like, that's a movie star. Her fits for this press run have been absolutely insane. Where is her waist? Where it doesn't exist. Obviously, this has a lot to do with her stylist. Her stylist is Molly Dickinson, who styles a lot of very well-dressed celebrities. She is very good at her job. But it's like every time I see anything in the press about Sydney Sweeney, I'm just like, not again. Like, why? It's just the decisions that she's been making. And I was having this conversation and they were like, well, all press is good press. I don't know if that's true in this case, because who saw this movie? Did you see it? Please, like, tell me if you saw it, because I didn't. I saw the trailer and I thought, oh my God, she might be nominated for an Oscar for that. That's so different for her. I think that was the point of her doing this movie. I don't think anyone saw it. And I think it has a lot to do with her general vibes and the press that comes out about her. Because why? Why? Well, why? You want these to come out. This isn't like an accidental like paparazzi shot. And then she comes out in fits like this. And I'm like, it's hard for me because I love this outfit.
I feel like in the era of like objective rating and looks maxing, so many people forget that how attractive you view somebody 100% correlates to how good of a person they are, or like how much you personally like them as a person, okay? Like, I used to find Sydney Sweeney cute, you know, she's cute, nothing wrong with her looks. After the bathwater soap and the American Eagle ad, no, I cannot view her as attractive anymore. It's the same reason why everybody always says, like, oh, my ex is so ugly, when you clearly found them attractive while you were dating, because maybe their personality was nice then and they're a shitty person now.
Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the Cloudish channel because this drama is about to get wild. Let's get into it. Sydney Sweeney is facing what many online are calling the toughest chapter of her career. In just a short time, her once unstoppable rise seems to have hit major turbulence. After years of hard work, her image has been caught in a storm of headlines, with each new rumor adding more pressure to her name. Industry insiders are reportedly saying that even some of her former co-stars have started keeping their distance, adding to the tension. Allegedly, there are whispers that Zendaya has been skipping joint interviews or press events with Sydney, and that speculation alone has only stirred the internet even more. Then came the talk involving Tom Holland, a rumor that spread across social media like wildfire. While nothing has been confirmed, it caused a massive wave of chatter online and made Sydney's situation even harder to manage. The numbers haven't helped either. Recent reports point out that her latest projects haven't performed as strongly at the box office, and critics online have begun labeling her as connected to several underperforming releases. Combined with a few awkward brand moments and questionable PR moves, it's clear her public image has taken a noticeable hit. One moment that many fans still reference is the American Eagle campaign controversy. Viewers online called the campaign tone-deaf, and soon after, reports claimed the company quietly replaced Sydney with Martha Stewart, a switch that got everyone talking. Even though no official statement was made, that change spoke volumes to fans following the story. Overall, the conversation around Sydney Sweeney's career has shifted fast, and while some believe it's just a rough patch, others think it marks a turning point. That decision seemed to send a clear message. Some brands were reportedly hesitant to keep working with Sydney Sweeney, From there, online drama only escalated, with new rumors and product controversies sparking intense discussions among fans. Reports claim that Sydney's quiet response to the criticism made some followers even more frustrated, with critics suggesting she appeared distant from the situation. Industry observers now say the next year could be a crucial moment for her reputation, a real test to see if she can rebuild her image or if the damage will linger. Meanwhile, fans are buzzing about a mysterious new project she's been teasing, convinced it could mark her big comeback. Before all the backlash, Sydney's rise seemed carefully planned. Every role showed her confidence, depth, and strong on-screen energy that always got people talking. That's why seeing her career shift so suddenly has left many fans surprised. The question now is simple, yet powerful. Can Sydney Sweeney make a full return to the top? Or is Hollywood moving on? Either way, audiences remember that her success was built not just on looks or hype, but on undeniable talent and hard work. Sydney Sweeney's breakout as Cassie in Euphoria made her feel magnetic and completely fearless.
That she now wants to apologize for the American Eagle ad. Mind you, she's on a press tour for a movie that's coming out called The Housemaid. She's saying, I don't support the views that some people chose to connect to the campaign, and many have assigned narratives to me that are not true, and that she's against hate. To be honest, I find this hilarious because she's obviously on a press tour for a new movie. But when she was on the press tour for the last one, she didn't have anything to say. And she said that when she does have something to say, we'll know about it. Mind you, that movie did terribly.
Episode after episode, she delivered emotion, chaos, and vulnerability that kept audiences hooked. Her unpredictable energy quickly turned her into one of the show's standout stars, and for a while, everything seemed to fall perfectly into place. During the early 2020s, when themes of empowerment and authenticity dominated pop culture, Sydney's image fit right in. Each role she chose appeared to connect with real conversations about identity, confidence, and independence. From Euphoria to The White Lotus, fans saw her as part of a new wave of bold, socially aware performers who seemed to represent the moment. For a time, people viewed her as genuine, relatable, and grounded. But as her fame grew, online discussions shifted. Some began questioning whether her outspoken image reflected her true personality or simply smart branding. Those doubts intensified after a 2021 situation involving photos from her mother's 60th birthday party. The leaked images, which showed guests wearing red hats, sparked major debate online and caught widespread attention. While Sydney didn't publicly comment much at the time, the incident marked the beginning of a more complicated chapter in her public image.
They were calling it one of the worst openings in box office history. It did even worse the second week. Worst drop ever in second week sales in a theater. So if I had to guess, her team said, girl, you better get on that press tour and you better apologize.
When photos from the party showed a guest wearing a Blue Lives Matter shirt, the internet reacted instantly. The look didn't seem to match the progressive image Sydney Sweeney had built through her acting roles, and confusion spread fast. Critics were loud, fans debated endlessly, and Sydney's name filled social media for days. She quickly addressed the situation, staying calm and composed. In her post, Sydney called the moment a misunderstanding, asked people not to rush to conclusions, and ended by sending love to her mom for her birthday. The response worked. The tension eased and the story faded from headlines soon after. Just when people thought her career might take a downturn, Sydney came back strong with Anyone But You. The romantic comedy exceeded expectations, earning impressive box office numbers and helping revive excitement for the genre. Still, online chatter didn't stop there. Some fans speculated that the movie's success wasn't just about the story, but also about the on-screen chemistry between Sydney and her co-star. Since both were reportedly in long-term relationships, that rumor stirred even more attention. Behind the scenes, photos of the pair sparked endless discussion about their closeness during press events. Though neither ever confirmed or denied anything, their silence only fueled more curiosity among fans, keeping Sydney right at the center of pop culture conversation. The rumors around Sydney Sweeney and her co-star lingered just long enough to keep fans curious. Social media stayed busy, and people couldn't stop talking about their chemistry, a buzz that pushed even more viewers to check out the movie for themselves.
I just find it hilarious. I'm still not going to be watching the movie. Sorry, Amanda Seyfried. Love you, Diva, but I just cannot be seated in a theater to watch Sydney Sweeney. Again, I don't think that she's a great actress, controversy aside, so I can't imagine that this movie will be that great in the first place, but...
And it worked. The film became a huge success, and Sydney stayed completely quiet through it all. No confirmations, no denials, nothing. That silence actually helped her maintain control of the story. Some commentators even suggested it was a smart media move, letting her stay mysterious while the movie's popularity soared. When reports later surfaced about her co-star's engagement ending, Sydney still didn't speak on it, which some say showed how strategic she'd become with her public image. But as critics pointed out, that untouchable image doesn't always last. Industry insiders now claim the next year could be Sydney's big turning point, a final chance to reset her reputation or risk letting the controversy define her. Fans are also buzzing about a secret new project she's been teasing, convinced it could mark her official comeback.
Sweeney broke up a 4-year relationship while filming the movie Anyone But You, while she herself was planning a wedding. What do you mean you're planning a wedding while you're chasing someone else's man? Sydney has lost all respect from the girls after we found out that she encouraged a man in a 4-year relationship to emotionally cheat on his girlfriend of 4 years. I already know that I'm gonna see comments saying, well, that was her man, he owed her respect.
Before all the drama, Sydney's career seemed carefully crafted. Every role showed confidence, depth, and serious acting range. That's why watching her momentum shift so quickly has left so many people shocked. The question now is clear. Can Sydney Sweeney make her big return, or has Hollywood already moved on? When Sydney Sweeney first rose to fame, fans were completely behind her. Her breakout as Cassie in Euphoria made her magnetic, emotional, and totally fearless on screen. Each episode showed her range. She brought intensity, heartbreak, and chaos that viewers couldn't look away from. For a while, everything seemed to fall perfectly into place. The early 2020s celebrated empowerment and authenticity, and Sydney's image matched that cultural moment flawlessly. Every role she chose, from Euphoria to The White Lotus, felt connected to real topics people were already talking about, like confidence and independence.
I'm gonna shut that down. As a woman, you owe universal loyalty to every woman that you encounter, meaning if you know that that man is in a relationship, you should stay away. You are equally as responsible because yes, that man owed her loyalty, but as a woman, we're supposed to protect each other.
She wasn't just seen as an actress, but as part of a new wave of socially aware talent who understood the times. Fans loved how grounded and relatable she seemed, believing she truly stood for something meaningful. But as her fame grew, online discussions started shifting. Some people began to question whether Sydney's confident, outspoken image was her real self or simply a reflection of what audiences wanted to see. That question, whether she was adapting or genuinely expressing her own views, has become one of the biggest debates around her career today. People began wondering if Sydney Sweeney's confident, outspoken image was truly authentic, or just part of her performance. As public attitudes shifted, some fans questioned whether her changes reflected genuine growth or careful adaptation. That conversation grew louder in 2021 when photos from her mother's 60th birthday party appeared online. Viewers noticed red hats and a guest wearing a Blue Lives Matter shirt, sparking huge debate across social media. The scene seemed to clash with the progressive image Sydney had built through her work, and suddenly, her name was trending everywhere. Sydney quickly addressed the situation with a calm and respectful post. She called it a misunderstanding, asked people not to jump to conclusions, and ended her message by sending love and birthday wishes to her mom. Her response worked. The tension eased, and the controversy soon faded from headlines. It showed how fast online discussions can spiral and how equally fast they can quiet down once a celebrity steps in to clarify their side. The controversy eventually faded, and within days, Sydney Sweeney's name was out of the headlines. Then came her major comeback with Anyone But You. The romantic comedy didn't just perform well, it became a box office hit, reviving interest in the genre and earning impressive profits from a modest budget. But with the spotlight came new rumors. Some fans suggested the buzz wasn't only about the movie's story, it was also about the rumored off-screen chemistry between Sydney and her co-star. Since both were reportedly in long-term relationships, the speculation drew even more attention online. Behind the scenes, photos of the two during press events had people talking, with fans analyzing every glance and gesture. While neither Sydney nor her co-star ever confirmed or denied any of the rumors, their silence kept curiosity alive. Still, the film's success showed Sydney's strong pull at the box office and reminded everyone how quickly she can bounce back when the spotlight turns her way. The rumors surrounding Sydney Sweeney and her co-star lingered just enough to keep social media buzzing. People couldn't stop talking about their chemistry, and that curiosity pushed more audiences to see the movie, a strategy that clearly worked. The film became a massive success, while Sydney stayed completely silent, offering no confirmations or denials. That quiet approach sparked plenty of commentary online, with some observers saying it might have been a deliberate media move. Even after reports surfaced about her co-star's engagement ending, Sydney maintained her silence, a move many believed showed how carefully she handled public attention.
If you didn't know, Sydney Sweeney was working on a movie called Anyone But You with her co-star Glenn Powell. The movie must have not been that good because I just heard about it today. Now, before I tell you all this, keep in mind that Sydney was in a 7-year relationship where they were engaged for 3 years up until this year. So Glenn revealed that Sydney had a great idea that if they would convince the public that they were dating or having affairs with each other, that it would increase the views on their movie, and so this is exactly what they did.
Critics began calling it her trademark strategy. Create buzz, stay calm, and wait for the internet to move on. For a while, it made her seem untouchable in Hollywood's fast-paced spotlight. But eventually, the formula started losing its shine. Later brand launches, including a novelty product and a beauty campaign, faced backlash for what fans described as confusing or out-of-touch messaging. What once looked like clever PR suddenly felt less polished, and her silence, once seen as control, began to look risky. That's when online voices started saying Sydney might have pushed her shock-driven image a bit too far, marking a new, uncertain phase in her public journey. The silence that once protected Sydney Sweeney started working against her. What fans once saw as confidence and control began to feel distant, and critics didn't hold back in sharing their views. Some commentators said her image had shifted, moving away from the empowering tone that once defined her career. Instead, they felt her recent visuals and messaging looked more like a step backward rather than a bold statement. To many, it seemed like Sydney's once sharp, self-aware artistry had turned into something harder to read. What used to feel intentional and confident now appeared overly polished or disconnected from the message that first made her stand out. This new phase left audiences questioning whether Sydney's image had evolved naturally or if the industry's constant pressure to stay relevant was beginning to reshape her public identity. In 2024, Sydney Sweeney faced one of her most intense public moments yet. Reports surfaced showing alleged voter registration details, which led some online users to question her personal views. For many fans, it felt like a turning point, and the trust she built during her Euphoria rise began to fade as every detail of her life was picked apart online. Then came the controversy around her American Eagle campaign. The ad's message, focused on traits being passed down, quickly drew criticism, with viewers calling it tone-deaf and confusing. Some social media users even suggested the concept felt outdated or poorly communicated. Sydney once again chose silence, avoiding public comment in hopes the discussion would fade. But this time, the quiet approach backfired. The backlash grew louder, spreading across social platforms faster than expected. Fans who once connected deeply with her work started expressing disappointment, feeling she'd lost touch with what made her relatable. Meanwhile, support for her began shifting in unpredictable ways, making her public image even harder to define. As the situation unfolded, Sydney stayed silent. No apology, no clarification. And for many, that became the final breaking point. What started as confusion turned into frustration, leaving audiences wondering where she truly stood. Fans hoped Sydney Sweeney would make a clear statement rejecting any form of hate or prejudice to end the controversy for good. But when she finally addressed it, her words surprised many. She simply said, "When I want to talk about something I care about, I will." The brief response felt distant to some, leaving audiences divided. Some praised her for staying private, while others wished she'd spoken more directly.
Two almost married people going around pretending to be in love with each other while Glenn's partner was communicating with him, telling him that it was uncomfortable for her, that she felt highly disrespected, and that she felt like she was being cheated on, to which he told her, well, this is all for the movie, it's a PR stunt. Glenn's fiance, Gigi, ended up breaking up with him because she was not going to stand for the disrespect. If you go look at their press interviews and the press tour, oh my god, these people, Sydney and Glenn, literally look like they were in love. If I was his girlfriend, I wouldn't have had none of that either.
The trust she built during her Euphoria days started slipping fast, and the internet couldn't stop dissecting every detail. But the real explosion hit when the American Eagle jeans campaign dropped. The ad's message about traits being passed down instantly set off alarms. Viewers called it tone-deaf at best and deeply coded at worst.
That single line from Sydney Sweeney made waves, not for what she said, but for what she didn't. Her silence began to feel louder than ever, and many believed this was her chance to pause and clear the air. Instead, her calm reaction left fans divided, with some saying a short clarification could have ended the drama immediately. What drew even more attention was how she responded to mentions from political figures. When asked about it, Sydney called the moment surreal and smiled, a reaction that sparked fresh debate online. Some thought she seemed unbothered, while others saw it as a missed opportunity to show awareness of how serious the topic had become. Supporters defended her, saying she might not have realized the deeper meaning behind the controversy and that the backlash had gone too far. But critics compared her to other Gen Z stars who've been quick to draw clear boundaries on public narratives, something Sydney still hasn't done. Meanwhile, her fan base appears to be shifting. New support has emerged from audiences focused more on what she symbolizes than on her acting. Commentators have noted that this kind of attention can fade quickly once the headlines move on. To make things tougher, her recent projects reportedly underperformed at the box office, marking a challenging streak for someone once seen as one of Hollywood's brightest young stars. Sydney Sweeney was once labeled Hollywood's next big thing, but her recent films have struggled to find their audience. The most talked about setback came with Christy, where she portrayed real-life boxer Christy Martin. It was a personal project produced under her own company with a major promotional push. Yet despite opening in thousands of theaters, the film earned just over $1 million in its first weekend. After that came Americano and Eden, both of which also underperformed at the box office despite strong budgets and wide releases. Each new project faced increasingly lower numbers, raising questions about whether Sydney's recent controversies and public image issues have impacted her audience appeal. Critics agree she's talented. No one doubts her acting ability, but the conversation has shifted. Some viewers admit they're hesitant to support her projects, saying the constant online drama has made her career feel distant. Others say they skip her films entirely to avoid what they call awkward conversations about her public persona. While opinions differ, one thing is clear: the box office results show a noticeable decline. Many observers believe today's younger audiences, especially Gen Z, are quick to link an artist's public image with their work, making it harder than ever to separate the person from the performance. The fallout from Christy hit Sydney Sweeney hard. After the film's disappointing box office numbers, she addressed the outcome by saying it wasn't about profit, but about purpose. Sydney called it the most meaningful project of her career, adding, "If this movie helps even one woman take a step toward safety, then it's a success." She said she was proud of the work, regardless of sales, but her statement didn't sit well with everyone. Actress Ruby Rose publicly disagreed, saying she had once been attached to an earlier version of the project and described that version as incredible and life-changing. Ruby's comment quickly went viral after she suggested audiences were reacting negatively because they no longer felt connected to Sydney's image. The exchange reignited the controversy and sparked a fresh wave of online discussion. Within hours, social media users were dissecting every detail, turning it into another PR challenge for Sydney's team. Around the same time, new reports claimed that the American Eagle campaign backlash had actually intensified while Sydney was filming Euphoria Season 3, adding even more context to how multiple events seemed to overlap during one of the most difficult moments in her career. Reports suggest that while Sydney Sweeney and Zendaya were filming Euphoria Season 3, things behind the scenes may have shifted. According to several alleged insider accounts, Zendaya has been keeping her distance, reportedly skipping shared interviews, avoiding joint press events, and choosing not to appear alongside Sydney during promotional activities. None of this has been confirmed, but the perception alone has fueled plenty of discussion online. Industry observers say it's understandable why Zendaya might be cautious. Any public appearance with Sydney could easily be misinterpreted as taking a stance in her ongoing controversies. With both stars managing carefully curated public images, even one red carpet photo could spark speculation. For Sydney, this rumored distance has been seen by some as another reminder of how fragile reputation can be in Hollywood. She and Zendaya were once viewed as genuine friends who shared long filming days and mutual respect, which makes the alleged divide especially surprising to fans. Some reports claim Zendaya was uncomfortable with how Sydney handled the backlash surrounding her brand partnerships and public image, though again, nothing has been verified. Still, with Euphoria's large ensemble cast and both actresses protecting their careers, it wouldn't be shocking if some professional distance became part of the new normal. Fans have noticed that Sydney Sweeney and Zendaya seem to be keeping their distance during promo season, and now, new online chatter is making things even more complicated. Social media users recently resurfaced old screenshots showing Sydney allegedly liking tweets that complimented Tom Holland while he and Zendaya were already together. That small detail, once ignored, has suddenly gained new attention as people revisit the rumored tension between the two actresses. Whether exaggerated or not, many agree the optics aren't ideal. Zendaya, known for staying private and controversy-free, seems to be focusing strictly on work ahead of Euphoria's new season, and fans think that's probably for the best. Any overlap between the two stars right now could easily fuel more unwanted speculation. Then came a fresh wave of rumors, linking Sydney to industry executive Scooter Braun. The internet reacted instantly, with fans debating what the rumored connection might mean. For some longtime supporters, it felt like a surprising turn, given the image of empowerment and authenticity she once represented. Still, nothing has been confirmed, and all claims remain unverified. What's clear is that Euphoria Season 3 could be Sydney's big opportunity to reset, to show audiences the talent and emotional depth that made her famous in the first place. If she can reclaim that spark and reconnect with viewers, a comeback isn't impossible. But it'll take real effort, reflection, and growth. Subscribe to Cloudish for more deep dives into Hollywood's biggest stories and exclusive updates on your favorite stars.